Thank you. This has been a whirlwind week for my dad, being nominated and inducted into the Hall of Fame, and last week he also joined Facebook. So this has been a great week. I think the most important thing about the Facebook is he somehow found 174 people that want to be friends with him. My dad was a head basketball coach for 36 years. Woodbury High School, Milner High School, Monticello High School, Cartersville High School, and finally Henry County High School. His girls' teams had a record of 400 wins and 296 losses, as well as winning 2 region titles. His boys' teams had a record of 465 wins and 305 losses, as well as winning 1 state runner-up, which most of those members are here today, and 9 region titles. His total record as a basketball coach in Georgia was 865 wins and 601 losses. Dad served as the president and state basketball chairpersons for the GACA, as well as coaching the boys North, South All-Star Game, and the Georgia-Tennessee All-Star Game. He also served on the executive committee, which he made many friends, and as the region secretary for the Georgia High School Association. Dad truly embodied the commitment to coaching profession with his 39 years of service to student athletes and coaches in the state of Georgia. Would all the family, friends, and former players please rise that are here to support my father? Dad's been married to my mother, Debbie, for 43 years. She put up with him that long. He has 2 children, myself and my sister, Lynn. He has a brother, Marty, and he has 6 grandchildren, Jessica, Stephanie, Amy, Lee, Olivia, and Ava. Dad attended Southwest DeKalb High School. He played football and track, and believe it or not, he was cut from every high school basketball team he ever tried out for. He attended West Georgia College, where he worked really hard and made the basketball team. He played volleyball and ran track. Dad coached for a total of 36 years, and believe it or not, he coached boys and girls for 22 of those. He won as a 3-time state runner-up in boys basketball, golf, and baseball. He won 12 region championships. He had 14 assistants go on to be head coaches. He was an athletic director for 25 years. In 2003, he was the Dwight Keith Award recipient. Also in 2003, he was the Steve Schmidt Award recipient by the Atlanta Tip-Off Club. Dad is one of 5 coaches in Georgia to have won 400 games in both boys and girls basketball. Henry County High School is now named the Christmas tournament that he started, the Chuck Miller Classic. Lamar Hurd said that he's a mentor. He's like a father figure to me and his players. He was a man of his word. He taught us that if you say you're going to do something, then you need to do it because your word is your bond. Lamar's here today, and he went on to be on University of Georgia's first Final Four team in 1983. He was drafted in the NBA and played overseas for 8 years. Alvin Copeland, a 2012 GACA Hall of Fame member, said that there's an individual in the state of Georgia who has gone beyond the call of duty to promote basketball in this state is Chuck Miller. Dad always wanted to give somebody else credit for the things he did or came up with. Dr. Swearingen from the Georgia High School Association noted that in his letter, mentioning that on many occasions, Dad would deflect attention and give credit to someone else. On the personal situation with deflecting attention, we were playing for a Christmas tournament championship 3 years ago, and we hadn't practiced the triangle too much. We're working on left-handed layups and bounce passes at Ola. So he asked me, we need to run a triangle in 2, and I'm not very sure about it. He calls timeout, and I just tell him, you got it, roll with it. We ended up doing it. That team pulled out one of their best players. We ended up beating a team we shouldn't have. After the game, the first thing he said, you got to give your head coach credit. He told me what we wanted to do on the triangle in 2, so he let me put it in. He's the reason we won the game. And that's the kind of person he is. He's probably dying right now because he's getting all the attention, but he's just not that type of person. Another thing about the triangle in 2 is back in the day, they only had 2-man officiating crews, not 3-man like they do now. So Dad's always been taught you've got to guard the people that are hurting you the most in basketball. He calls a timeout and comes out in the triangle in 2 on the officials. The referee calls a timeout and says, Chuck, what are you doing? I've always been told to guard the people that are killing me, and you guys are killing me. I read through 12 letters from very respected coaches and administrators in the state of Georgia, and they all had a similar tone. Leadership, friend, loyalty, creative, trustworthy, competitor, and fair. In 2011, a 2011 GACA Hall of Fame inductee, Ron Bell, reminded me of his 1989 championship team at Marist. That year they played in the Henry County Christmas Tournament, and Dad beat him. Marist went on to win a state championship that year, and every time Ron talks to Dad, they were 29-1, and Dad reminds Ron, no, y'all were 29 in Henry County. Not many kids get to grow up and work with one of their parents. The last 3 years of Dad coaching me has been very fun, at times challenging, but more than anything, we've learned how to deal with each other in that setting. We're starting to see the same things during the game and even yell at officials at the same time. I knew at a very early age that I was going to be a coach like my dad. When I was young, I spent every teacher workday in the gym with the other coaches' kids. I just completed my 12th year as a teacher coach, 9th as a head coach, and 6th as an AD, and I love every minute of it. And finally, my parents preached the following things to me, and these are some of the things that Dad preached to his team. Always treat people with respect, because you never want to burn bridges. You never know when you're going to have to work with those people later on in life. And always be responsible for yourself. Communicate and let people know what's going on. And finally, life lessons. And I had to learn this the hard way in English class when I made the teacher mad. You get yourself into trouble, you got to get yourself out of it. You can't rely on somebody else to do your dirty work. At this time, I would like to bring my dad up and honor him, and please give him a round of applause, Coach Chuck Miller.